It is Thursday, July 25th, and the time-twitching tower has appeared with a brand new merch table item. Let's take a look. And a brand new level 10, Primordial Seas. We'll take a look at that in a second. Merch table. So all the usual suspects from our last trip around, plus the unevolved organism. Who knows what this tiny organism will evolve into? Hatches into evolving organism. Type familiar, cannot be discarded. Free pull from Hanks. Let's buy it and take it out. You put the unevolved organism in your familiar grow terrarium. It begins evolving and changing. You decide to name him Hansent. Take him with you right now. You shake the box of familiar Jacks at Hansent, who rips the box open and throws all the popcorn and peanuts and whatnot on the ground, looking for the prize. You acquire an item, extra DNA. A little extra DNA to help your organism evolve more quickly. Specific to the evolving organism, +1 familiar experience per combat. Evolves new capabilities every time it reaches 400 experience points. So that makes it sound a little bit like the Jill of all trades, but you have to unlock its abilities by getting it experience. Always evolving, eventually might, starts from but a cell. So this looks like a really good day for me to have the +2 familiar experience per combat. Okay, we've got some more familiar experience now. Let's take him out for a spin. In the time-twitching tower, of course. Primordial Stew, Primordial Soup Kitchen. Primordial Stew. You're fighting a yeast gang. These are normally pretty harmless, but because these particular ones are extra large or you're extra small, it's kind of unclear what's happening in this stew. They're much more a threat. You get to jump on them. Hansent has evolved some sort of exothermic process. Hansent ramps up their exothermic activity and bumps into your foes for 14 damage. Okay, so he's doing hot damage. You're fighting a herd of archaea. Archaea are like a worse kind of bacteria, or if you ask them, a much better kind of bacteria. Despite their lack of shoulders, they really managed to have a chip on their shoulder about that whole comparison. And the familiar didn't do anything exciting on the beginning of combat this time. You're fighting a messenger RNA. This is a molecule that tells other molecules what to do, making it evolutionary predecessor of your jerk boss. You're fighting a flailing flagellate. I'm just gonna say this looks like a hot dog with a floppy spaghetti noodle stuck in the end of it, and I'm not going to countenance any other more juvenile comparisons. Okay, so I'm not getting a whole lot of drops here. I'm going to try and figure out if there's anything I can do to improve that. Yeah, I have my time-twitching tool belt equipped as well for 60% item drops. You're fighting a protozoa. When God invented the Zoa, he had to try several times before he got it right. This is one of the early versions, and I gotta tell you, it sucks. Aw, poor thing. 279 experience. I am really impatient. Let's try and use some ghost dog chow on this guy. Okay, one more fight should do it. Hansent expends all their experience and evolves a layer of gross mucus. 0 experience? Oh, come on, guy. Maybe I can use the filters to figure out what he does? Okay. Do you attack? Yes, you attack. Do you make special items? No, you do not. Do you add stats? No. Do you defend? Yes? I haven't seen it defend yet. Is this layer of mucus about defending? Water breathing? No. No meat. It regenerates hit points? I haven't seen it do that. Mana points too, huh? Okay, so based on the filters, he should regenerate mana points, hit points, attack, and defend. And I've only seen him attack. I haven't seen him do the other things. I continue to be impatient. Hansent wraps up their exothermic activity and bumps into your foe for 9 damage. Hansent oozes into your foe for 16 sleaze damage. So out of that list, I'm only seeing the elemental damage is all, which is not bad. Hansent expends all their experience and evolves a desire to protect others. So I'm wondering if the filters doesn't show what he does, but instead what he can do. Alright, here goes the rest of my ghost dog chow. Okay, Hansent oozes in between you and your foe and looks helpless. Your foe reconsiders its plans. Yay! You acquire an item, Protogenic Chunklet. That's the very first drop I've gotten from any of these guys. Other than the Kroner. Or the fermenting powder, I guess. That is not nothing. Okay, so now Hansent is doing 3 different things. Attacking for hot damage, attacking for sleaze damage, and defending. Protogenic Chunklet Synapse. Yay! Protogenic Chunklet Lips. Protogenic chunklet flagellum. Protogenic chunklet elbow. Okay, so I have no muscles yet. Your organism has evolved a desire to protect others, some sort of exothermic process, a layer of gross mucus. Okay, so the exothermic process, I know because it was the only thing he had for a while, is the hot damage. The gross mucus, I'm going to guess, is sleaze damage, and a desire to protect others is the blocking behavior, so the levitating potato behavior. So when I did the filters, he showed up under attacking, defending, hit point, and mana point regen. So my guess is if I keep leveling this guy up is that he can do prismatic attacks, defend, and then regenerate hit points and mana points, which would be pretty nice. A desire to protect others 2 times. I missed it. He evolved. How can you protect someone 2 times? Oh, so that's kind of nice. He was acting about half of the time before, and now it seems like he's acting almost every round. That's cool. Oh, I finally got a protogenetic chunklet muscle from these guys, from the yeast gang. I think that's the first time they've dropped anything. I almost banished them. Because they were just not helping. But now they are. Okay, Hansen isn't blocking every round. Seems like he's back to blocking every other round. Yay, protogenetic chunklet muscle. I'm going to briefly put away the evolving organism and pull out my gray goose and use the synaptic soup. You feed the soup to your familiar. It looks more mystical and heavier. Ooh, genetic soup has altered your familiar. It has evolved an extra 1 bonus pounds. It has developed MP restoration. That sounds pretty neat. Let's see how that works. Neat. My gray goose zaps with a jolt of mystic energy from the protogenic synapse. You gain 6 mojo points. Oh, but the protogenetic chunklet did not get duplicated by the drones. So that's pretty neat. Curious if that lasts through Ascension? I'm going to guess not. I'm going to guess it has to be done brand new each time, but that's pretty cool. Being able to add abilities to any familiar. So that's something you can use to take a fairly basic familiar and make it roughly the equivalent of a Mr. Store familiar just by adding these different capabilities to it. Wow. Oh, he's acting based on how heavy he is, isn't he? Is that what's going on? Because sometimes he blocks every round and then other times he doesn't, but no, that doesn't make sense. I think it's still just random numbers. So first impressions of the evolving organism. I think it's an interesting mechanic. It seems like once he's fully powered up, he'll be able to attack, defend, and regenerate hit points and mana points. And that's a really nice combo. I really like, too, that he does elemental damage. That can be really powerful on certain opponents. So I'm curious to see if the attacking side of things, if he'll be able to do prismatic damage once he's fully powered up. I can think of a number of monsters where prismatic attacking damage from a familiar would be really, really useful. So I'm intrigued. I think the power-up process is kind of a pain in the butt, especially since you don't get to pick which of the powers he's going to choose next. It'll be interesting to see if it's a deterministic process or if it's something that, is random every time, because I could see that being kind of annoying if there's a particular kind of elemental damage you would like and, you've powered him up multiple times and haven't gotten anywhere. So this little guy has been powered up 4 times. And for example, he chose a desire to protect others twice. So that makes me think that, if it is random, that you could get some really bad luck of the draw and end up with a really strong potato that does nothing else. So the random nature of it makes me a little less excited. I'll have to pay attention and see if this is something that's deterministic, and if so, what the skill progression is, or if there's ways to influence the skill progression by which kind of monsters you fight. Either all throughout or as he gets close to the level up process. Yeah, a lot of potential here. Not sure what to think of him right away. Could be really useful, could be more of a novelty. Time will tell. All right, thanks very much for watching.